Hello, folks. It is Monday, the 10th of June. Unfortunately, I've caught a little bit of a frog in my throat. I don't know if it's a cold. I think it's because of sleeping with the fan on the other night. But cheers. Hello, it's Monday morning. Let's see what I can get together. I've had quite an intense weekend. Vertigo. Thanks, whoever sent it to me. Started it all off by having to get put my car in the shop. I kind of felt like it was coming. So I ended up having to get a new battery and a new starter. And that wasn't cheap, but it's done. Once again, my friend Aaron was very helpful to me with all that. Other than that, I've had a very nice weekend. Company. I've had company. I went to the Summer Arts Festival twice, Saturday and Sunday. I was so happy to get the car fixed so that I could go, because that's been the problem, that it hasn't been starting. And I thought it was just a connection, but it turns out my battery, I don't pay attention, the battery, the guy said that, you got a whole lot more out of this battery than you're supposed to. But I've discovered that, as being a person on the poor side of money, that a lot of things that they say, well, this isn't supposed to be good anymore. Oh, we can get more out of that. And then being raised that way, it's like you find ways to use stuff when it's no longer usable. When clothes are no longer wearable, you make dish towels out of them. You you make patches out of them. These are like, I'm wearing my favorite. I need to, probably, no, I don't need to, but my favorite jeans, because I wear my keys in this pocket all the time. It wears this spot, but I learned how to sew, so I just patch it. I'll get some new jeans eventually. I meant to grab them and I didn't. To pivot to music right quick, I received some BCLT unexpected, and the person that sent it to me, I don't know this person. Thank you, Jim Allen. He's out in California. Follows me on Instagram. I finally followed him back. I see he collects records, but I don't know this person. But he decided to send me Yoko Ono's book, Music of the Mind. This is a compendium of her works. It seems to be pretty comprehensive. I just started to read it. It's the sort of thing where you can read it casually, because it's really it's a discussion of her work. But I love the introduction, and I love how I really have great respect for Yoko Ono, have for a long time. Tried to meet her twice. But in the intro, she talks about one of her early art pieces where the art piece itself is an instruction. And one of those instructions is to light a match and watch it till it burns out. Now, that's something I just did as a child. Fascinated. Didn't you ever, well, I can't assume that, but didn't some of you other people do that as a small child in our activities of discovery and just doing stuff? I can remember that more than once. Burning matches, just watching it burn all the way down and being fascinated with it. And that's one of her early art pieces that the book talks about. Pretty cool. So thank you. And of course, he sent me an album totally unexpected, and it was really on time. So, Jim, thank you, because I just had to spend that money on the car twice. So at the beginning earlier, I paid my car insurance for the year. I just get it out of the way for the discount. Not much of a discount. And then a few days later, I have to do the car repairs. So I have to wait a while. I don't have any money really, to spend on records. So it was nice to receive this on Saturday. Pacific. It's part of a series of music that Hiromi Hosono participated in. And I have the series on CD. I bought them in Japan. It's kind of schmaltzy music, but it's Hosono, and I collect him, and I just have great respect for him. So I've been wanting to get these all on vinyl. Thank you, Jim. This is a German bootleg. It's an unauthorized release of it, but it's a very good quality. The record is real good quality too. Has the insert. And this is just kind of like relaxing music maybe you would listen to at a hotel by the sea or something like that, But it's my man Hosono. And I love him. I have great respect for him. Thank you very much for this addition to my Hosono collection. Before I thought I was going to grab some CDs and show, and I just, oh well, excuse me. I had company, and I visited friends this weekend, which is good because I don't get out much. And one of my friends, Nils, who recently lost his grown son to suicide, he was bugging me. He said, yeah, I get out more. I said, nah. No, I don't feel like getting out more. It's good to see you. I love the reception of people when they do see me. At Summer Arts Festival, it was pretty damn cool, You walk around and you end up feeling like a celebrity, the way that people greet you. I like it. I do. I like it. And I appreciate the little things about life, My friend Hugo came by with his wife, like I've told you the saga of Hugo. He had the art gallery, but he was selling weed under the table. Then he got busted, did 2 years in jail, got out early on good time, remarried his wife, and they came over for the first time as a couple because I just mainly know him from the art gallery. So that was a really cool visit to hang out with them and get to see him in that element, and to become familiar with his wife, And that was a fun visit because it's just part of my nature that people kind of seek counseling from me, just almost naturally. And so he was talking about how he was drinking more and didn't like it. And I said, well, what? Let's just make things make sense now. I'm drinking more, but I don't like it. My boss drinks, so I drink with him. And it was just problem solved. It was like, you're not currying any favor with your boss by drinking with him. And you already know it. I guess you just needed to talk about it so that you could make a decision on whether or not you're going to drink and create new problems for yourself, or just tell your boss you don't want to have a beer with him. Musically, a couple things happened. I pulled some old records. German band, Schick Furs and Froling, Sunburst, 3-piece keyboards. I like this. Instrumental, just what I like. Then I pulled the this one by them, Take It Everywhere. End up playing them both. It's good stuff if you don't know this band. Chic Furs and Froling. On Brain, and these are not expensive albums. These are cheap when you find them. And it's real good. Real good. In looking for programming to watch, I found that I find television from overseas interesting from the past, like Australian TV shows. I don't watch a lot, but it's just, I'll watch a bit. And I came across this show called, I think it's called The Paper Lads out of Australia. And I noticed that the theme song was Renaissance, which I didn't know, didn't know before, but I have had the album all this time, didn't realize that theme song is on this album. So I pulled the album, A Song for All Seasons. Interestingly enough, Annie Haslam, the lead singer of the band, just had a birthday. I didn't know, but it kind of coincided. Lovely album, the whole album. And I love Renaissance and this sound, the symphonic treatment of the music, her voice. Lovely. It was a nice discovery. Pardon me. Like I said, because I'm sleeping with the fan, I think I slept it with it a little too directly on me. It's giving me a froggy throat. It'll clear up. That was a nice discovery to find that I had the theme song already, so I played the whole album. Felt like a little bit of saxophone. So I played Coltrane Sound all the way through. This is a 1966 pressing. It's old Atlantic label too. It's in real good shape. It's cool how he does a slowed down, mellow version of Giant Steps on here and calls it something else. Beautiful. The man just played beautifully. I love John Coltrane. I played the hell out of this last year. It was one of my albums of the year. And you know what happens when that is the case a lot of times? When you put it away, it's put away for a long time. But I found myself just wanting to hear more slow dives. So I pulled this again. Everything is Alive. Is that the name of this album? Ended up playing almost the whole thing again. I played this a lot last year. This is real good. It's a keeper. I love it. Here's one I hadn't played in ages. It was like when it first came out, Peter Gabriel's first solo album. I was disappointed. I was. I knew not to expect Genesis, but this was like, okay, I have to reset. I have to readjust for this. It's not what I think I wanted from the man. And it's like, thank goodness Peter Gabriel did what he wanted and not what he thought his fans wanted him to do. And so this album has grown on me. I saw this tour, interestingly, on the drive down to Kansas City as we're listening to the album in the car, me and my friend Marty, who I went with. When the song hit, when Here Comes the Flood hit, we had a super intense rainstorm just hit us while the song, we're driving, and it started to rain so hard we could barely see the cars in front of it. Was odd, and we both looked at each other and the car stereo and the song and the weather, and it was like, well, this is a moment. And obviously we made it to the show and back, and it was awesome. Peter Gabriel, Robert Fripp was in the band. Peter Gabriel came out into the audience. I was in a club where we were at tables. We got to sit at a table. He comes in. It's like he came walking right to us, walked on top of our table. So I just reached up and touched his leg, and he touched my hand, and that's my Peter Gabriel moment. Excuse me. So thank you for the gifts, Jim. I really enjoyed seeing my friends. I saw Nick, his wife, and the baby yesterday. I'd been trying to make that happen for a while. Little Faye is not little, very little anymore. She's just growing. And it's significant to me that she was born on my brother's birthday, my brother who passed away recently. And that's the 18th. It's coming up. It's really nice to just to spend that time and get worn out by the baby, because she's a Gemini and full of energy and interest. I love my friends. That's what I have. I hope that things are going well for you folks. Hope this is a good weekend. A good week, rather. It was a good weekend. We missed some inclement weather. I'm really happy. I was a little nervous. When we get these weather warnings about potential weather, it makes me nervous because of the intensity anymore. So I'm glad that we were spared that. So let's see what the week brings. I hope some good things. You know, I'm watching this stuff with politics, and I will speak my mind. I'll try to save it to the end like this so that if you don't want to hear it, you can just turn it off now. But what's happening today? Trump has to have his probation interview. That's a first. We've never had a former president have to see his PO. Says a lot. It also says a lot that the entire GOP is up in arms about this because they can't handle the fact that the justice system is working and their common criminal got caught. You know, he's guilty, and they want to. It's just so wrong, isn't it? This double standard. Well, he's privileged. He's got money. He is white. He was the ex-president. You can't do this to him. He did it to himself. And you people are making fools of yourself. You know, all he does is lie, and no one makes him prove anything because he can't. You know, he's saying that this is the whole New York trial was politically motivated. Well, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove it, and yet you have all these people, including Congress, these supposedly intelligent people, believing your lie and literally causing havoc in the political and judicial system based on lies that no one. That's what I would do if I had the power of the media. I'd say, well, you just said this, we prove it. Where's your proof that Biden is behind this? You have no proof. And then when he gets caught saying a lie, well, I didn't say that. Well, here's the clip. Look at it, bitch. Now what do you have to say? They don't do it because of money. One more thing. I recognize, because of my education and my work history, that Trump is mentally ill. He has a personality disorder. The average person doesn't recognize these things. That's why he's getting away with this. And we need the judicial system. If there's anything that the judge could do besides just putting his butt in jail, is to order a psychiatric evaluation. You know, to have him go under tests, because he can't fool the test. If you try to fool the test, see, I've actually done. I don't know how much they've changed the MMPI and what other standard tests they do for diagnosing. But as well as studying the DSMs, I've taken the test. And I discovered that you can't punk the tests. That if you try to fool the test, that points out a pathology. I think the nation deserves that so that we can start to dispel this madness in his cult. You know, he is a bad bill of goods. And we need people to stop being afraid of money and their position, losing their position by confronting this absolute disaster with some facts. We really need professionals in mental health to step forward. I've heard one speak out publicly, give an interview not that long ago where she laid it out, as well as Trump's niece, Mary Trump. She's um, PhD, and they're just laying it out factually what's going on with this guy. We we could really benefit from having him evaluated and have that made public so people have to face the fact you're following a nutcase. You're following a man who is mentally unwell and not fit for the presidency. Wasn't in the first place. And it's concerning, so that's why I'm watching it. It could easily just unravel and we end up with him in the presidency again. What a nightmare that would be. It already is. So that's what I have to say about him. Let me get off of that and go more personal and say I hope that everyone is doing well. I've had some good interaction with my family these last few days. So it turned out that Richard Sherman, who was a friend of Adrian and Floyd's, wrote music for some big stuff. I'd have to look him up. But this morning I look, and in the group messaging that I share with my brothers, my sisters, and my nephews, Adrian's posted a picture of Richard Sherman years ago where he is visiting with Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson's chimpanzee. That's just wild to have friends and to know people on that level. Pretty cool. All right, I'm just babbling. I didn't look at the comments. I don't know that there's anything to comment on. It's nice to hear from you folks. I got this big thank you from a cartoonist. Thank you. Yes. Standing for something is important. It is. And so I'm standing up for decency and clarity, objectivity, and unity, and asking and encouraging people to come to your senses. We're dealing with a psychopath who is only concerned about saving his own butt. He never says anything that indicates anything that would, with regard to actual policy or anything that would lead you to think that he has any interest in doing service for the people. He never does. And so that's why I keep speaking out. It's a cult, and the people who are caught up in it, for whatever reasons, it's just a bad deal. It's inexcusable. Okay, that's enough.